When I think that's what reminded me of what you said, man. It's not for you.
Oh.
You know, and I feel like what I say here and do here, why am I being so vulnerable? Because I remember I sent Justin I sent Justin one of my pods, right? He listened to it, right? He's like, it's good, man, but are you sure you want to put that type of stuff out there? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, if that's you. You know, and it's like, and I heard that, and it's like, I'm glad you did that. I hadn't got a chance to watch it. We went out of town, man, but I think that's where God wants you, man. Because the moment you mess up and you know it, the moment you're about to latch out, go to episode 2, episode 3, episode 7.
That's the thing, bro.
Once it's out there, it's out there.
So we record it, then I edit it, then I watch it again for the reels, and then I watch it when it's posted. I don't watch this thing 4 times. And it's like, it's stuck inside of me. So it's like, if I'm not Nehemiah in this camera, behind this camera, then I'm not Nehemiah. I don't know who I am. But if I know who I am, well, I'm going to act like me.
Come on.
Too many people, and I know people, man. I've done content with some people. I've sat next to some people where I'm like, why are you so fake, bro? And the thing is, and if you start talking to them, they get so defensive when you confront it. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, only if you tapped into this. And it took me a while, but I finally tapped into that.
All right, happy Friday, everybody, man. This is it. This is all the way it. This is the last episode of season 4. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, man, season 4 has been one of my favorite seasons, only because I guess the interactions and the growth with the people, I guess, the community, the people involved, people helping out, you know, each other out, you know, supporting each other's businesses, small businesses, people we've had on, content creators. And I want to say this is by far this episode, and I've said this 1,000 times. Oh, that was my favorite episode. This is my favorite. This one today, season 4, episode 12, is my favorite episode. And here's why. Before we get to introducing my guest, because a lot of you are going to trip out. I don't think I'm going to lose friendships. I think a lot of people are just going to be happy and surprised. You know, last I had Pastor Marty on and his wife, Sister Mona. Shout out to you guys. And I did lose some friends. Some people did block me, because they probably beefing with, you know, with Pastor Marty still, but I'm not, you know, and I feel like the whole premise of this show, or at least this season, has been the personal growth in my relationship with God, changing my mentality, you know, not worrying about what other people think or feel or see about me, you know, but I think ending this season out with this particular guest is very important, you know, because we've reconciled a few months ago or so, and they'll get their take on it in a little bit. But I just want to tell you guys, go check out all my episodes. You know, go check them out. Go support these local businesses, these content creators we've had on. You know, especially last week's podcast, you know, with the owners at Mochi Nut, Gao and David. Man, such an awesome couple, hilarious. You know, bringing a trending type Korean food to the Central Valley, having it in our own front yard. You know, you see it all over social media. So again, these are the type of guests and people we've had on the show. You know, again, it's just not just me. You know, I want to make it about other people, and that's where my heart is. And that's why this episode is important to me right now, because I want to make it about my guy, my boy, Nemo!
I don't know why I got nervous.
You're like on a show.
I'm not even like, I don't get nervous. Like,
you have your own show.
I'm used to this. I'm used to this. What the heck? You
Dude.
Know? Yeah.
I mean, welcome.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're ending the show with you. Yeah. You know, and I want to get straight to it, you know, because, you know, like I was nervous just talking. I'm like,
still makes sense.
What's going on? We were just talking before, you know, and I think now what makes this again, I'm gonna say this like hands down, man. Season 4, episode 12 is gonna be my favorite, you know, because it's you, you know, 100% because it's you, man. I'm already gonna start crying. You know,
I've been feeling emotional for the last few days, man.
I know, I've seen your pods.
I've been too much into my emotions.
That's so funny. But dude, let's catch up, man. Let's Let's see what you're up to now. What you been up to since? I guess I know we've like reconciled and talked
since the hiatus.
Since the hiatus, but after that, what have you been up to? Let's catch up. Kind of what's new with the family. Isla, Ash is in the studio, and Isla's getting so big.
Start school, man, already next week. I'm not ready for it. She's, but man, for me, we just been working. I'm back in the Bay. We're back in the Bay. We got our own place. And we started, how long ago was it? Like a year and a half ago, I think it was. About a year ago. Actually, it was a year ago, about a year ago. Year and a half now. We started Creative Culture. I was doing it with, it started with me, Aaron, which, and then we had tagged along Joey, and then just life kind of happened. Aaron ended up accepting a position with his wife in Bakersfield, and then Joey's obviously still here in Fresno, and then we were transitioning to the Bay. So they all said, Nehemiah, this is you, and go do it. So I took over Creative Culture, and I didn't do it for a while. I was like, what am I doing, right? What's the vision for it? What is it again? And then sitting with Ash, and she was like, let's do it, babe. And I remember when I first even thought of a podcast, my best friend Malik was like, it needs to be you and Ashley. Like, y'all story, the way she talks, like when she talks, people shut up and listen. When you talk, they're like,
they're used to it.
Yeah. So when he said that, I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And she didn't want to do it at that time. And then fast forward some years later, now she's right next to me, and I don't think I'm doing it with anyone else but her. I've tapped in, like I said, into too much of my emotions. But it's been a lot of this last year for me, especially the last like 6 months. Has been a lot of reconcile, letting go for God to grow you, and really of just a lot of let's dig deeper into Nehemiah. Let's pull out the bad. Let's pull out these roots that we've cut the branches off. We might have cut the log off, but the roots are still there. Yeah. And it's been a lot of that. And I'm just growing now. I'm trying to lose this too.
Thin it out. I do. When I hugged you, I kid you not, man, I felt like I can put my arms around this guy.
And that's it, man. That's what we've been doing. And my daughter's freaking getting too big now. And
dude, you see her face? The baby went away.
Yeah.
Yeah, huh? The baby.
Time for number 2.
Yeah, get on it.
But yeah, that's what we've been up to, man. And we're doing a lot of stuff at the church as well. Our church.
Yeah, name the church and where you're at.
Redemption Church in San Jose. Pastor Ron and Hope Carpenter. A lot of people might know who they are. They had a church in South Carolina that they came out here in 2018, I believe. And I always told Ashley, man, it'd be so cool for us just to go there. And we would go there like on our days off from the church that we were at in the Bay at the time. And then anytime we went to the Bay to visit my parents or something, we would go to their church. And then we moved back from Fresno. And I told Ashley, I'm done with ministry. I'm not doing nothing. I just want to sit my freaking fat booty down and just receive. I don't want to do nothing. And I think God laughed and giggled at it. I always say God giggled when I said what I was going to do, right? And 30 days later, after me sitting down, we get... it's all Ashley's fault. We've been doing now, we're 2 of 3 people who do content for Red Worship, which is the worship team. They're releasing their album soon. We're releasing, by the time this comes out, the single's already out called One More, featuring Trinity. And we just been a part of it, man. And it's cool that I went from being the guy in front of the drums to being the guy who's recording the drums. And I love that.
Like, dude, you're very talented also.
I love it. I'm playing tomorrow. I haven't played in 5 months.
What? You're playing at the church?
No, not there. So
a different spot. Okay.
And I haven't played, but I told Ashley, like, I miss it, but I think when a different part of your calling is calling you, you got to answer the call. Because if not, you're going to miss it. And you might not be able to get it again. And so I've enjoyed so much just being behind the camera and just capturing what's happening at the church. I'm so used to being in front of a camera. So being behind it, I think I love it a little more. Like, I kind of love it a little too much to the point where I'm like, I don't feel like doing no more work. Ashley had to talk with me yesterday about it. Like, it's time for you to do what you need to do.
Yeah. So. Dude, that's good to hear, man. I've always seen what you were doing until like our hiatus and getting blocked and we couldn't see you no more. But that happens. That's life, and I think that where I've seen your growth since that, when people saw me and you following each other again, they were like, I got DMs and they're like, dude, what's up? You friends with Nemo again? I'm like, it's not that I'm not. We had an issue, but we had to grow from it, and so I never do the blocking, right? But again, I was at my lowest, my lowest immature moment, and so I can't blame you. We had this talk on the phone. It's like, I can't be mad at this guy for the same thing I was or I am.
Yeah.
Who am I? Who am I to judge? Who am I to hold that over him when it's me too? And I think that's where we get stuck as believers, as Christians, or as, content creators, podcasters, all the above. And it's like, whose fault's who? And not humble yourself. Yeah. The Bible says humble yourself. And I think even to get into this, man, because once again, I'm happy like your wife is here, daughter's right there, just, chilling, or she was walking in right now. But, to have you guys here, man, it was like surreal. It felt surreal, because it's like, I thought we'd never restore this, but I wanted to give it to God, and so I don't know, man, let's get into that. What happened?
Before we go into that, you said that, you never thought, I was reconciling with a couple of people. You were the last one that I needed to reconcile with, right? And I remember telling Ashley that week before, or that week that you called me, I said, babe, there's one more person. And she looked at me, we both looked at each other, and we was like, Jose. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, all right, do what you need to do. Yeah. And that whole week, I was like, when am I going to call him? When am I going to call him? And then you decide to call, right? And I look at, going back to the Bible, Jesus, one of his best friends was Peter. And when Peter denied him, right? That must have hurt Jesus. But when he resurrected, who did he go look for? Mm-hmm. Was Peter. So he reconciled something. And I was like, man, if I'm going to be preaching this thing of God, and how am I going to motivate somebody? How am I going to be the encourager that I'm called to be? How can I do that if I still got a thorn in my flesh? Mm-hmm. How am I going to still do that if I'm not preaching what I'm living, like saying out of my mouth? And I was just like, and there was content where I've had about reconciliation, and I'm like, I can't post this because I haven't done this. And I had to do that. And that's something that, like, when it happened, I felt the biggest weight come off my shoulders. So I'm like, why am I carrying something that I shouldn't be carrying? Like, all right, you're done with the pity party. Let's have this conversation. Let's go. Let's grow from this so we can go and achieve what we need to achieve. And that's what had to happen. I felt like it was a good thing, because I go through this phase, and when I'm just chilling, I'll just go on my phone and I look at who haven't I talked to, who haven't I called, and I'm like, I talked to them, they're cool. I just message them, and then your name popped up. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I was at work too. I remember I was like tripping out, like what? I started laughing. The first thing when you called me, I laughed.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, you're not gonna this is God, bro.
He beat you to it.
Yeah, he beat me to it, but it's not even that. It was just like, I was just talking to the wifey about this during lunch. Like, Lord, what are you doing? Like, I literally laughed. My whole rest of the work, I was just tripping out.
Yeah.
And I was just laughing. Because, like, man, look how God works, right?
Well, I think that was a work in me, man, because I know there are things, like you said, in me, I'm very careful what I put out. Yeah. Very careful how I speak now. One thing about us, Unfiltered was on that point was it was gonna go.
Yeah.
Then that happened, and so, and I think there was a reason for that, because at some point I realized that you even told me, you're like, bro, I don't know about you and that drinking. Here you talking about like this, but and it was hard for me to see past my hurt, see past I stopped caring about a lot of things. Me, when I didn't care, and I don't care.
No, for sure. Yeah.
And so now that we're in this moment, and I feel like, because we both, I think, what happened? Maybe from your end, because after we both got sick, that kind of went.
It went south, I think.
Yeah.
It went south for you physically.
Dude, I died.
You died. I almost died.
Yeah.
I remember.
Me and you were on the same floor for like that last week you were there, and that was my first week.
I remember the doctor telling Ashley every single day was like, it's getting worse, right? And I was just like, bro, don't be saying that, bro. Like, come on, man. I got too much, and I was crying out to God, like, hey man, I got this, I got that, and then I think I had so much going on, and then we ain't got to get into it with my brother, that situation, and just everything around me, and I was just like a ticking bomb at that second, and I was like, screw it, I'm done, and that's when it happened the way it happened, and then immediately after it happened, I got corrected. Don't you ever let something take your integrity away? And I'm like, bro, you want me to go off on you? You know, like, but
how so? What do you mean?
That because the way I was expressing myself. If I'm a man the way that I am, we talk like men. I talked like a child that day, and I know I did. And so that's why I was like, that's not who I am. That wasn't me back there. That's the old me. So what are you doing? And immediately I got corrected by that. And from there, it's just like, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to separate myself from everything. And I did a lot of that. And because I noticed I still had way too much growth to like get to. And that's what happened. You know, I cut off some people at that moment. It wasn't just you. It was a few people in my life that I had to say bye to. And I just had to grow. Like it was
I think
moments.
Yeah, I bet, man, because I think what transpired out of that, you know, because remember, I started my foundation with you. I started, you know, we met here and I was like, I'm willing to give you half of my business. You know, and at any point, and I'll say, you know, just to put it out there, because we've talked on the phone a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't at any point wanted to coerce you and take it from you. I was legitimately protecting the show.
Yeah.
You know, that was my intention from the beginning. And God's word says, man, you know, don't let your good will or your good intention be ill spoken of, you know, and I didn't know how to approach it because all I felt like I was like your older brother. You know, it's like you would call me, hey, I just blew up on this so-and-so.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, again, what's our topic this week?
Yeah.
And I knew what everybody told me. All the people we knew grew up in Selma. All of us, you know, and I never took any of that in because all I wanted to see was, you know, I've always told you that, dude, you're a young cat. Just imagine when you grasp this at this early age and not like me at 36, 37, 38, how far you would be, you know? And I think that was the only thing I was trying to protect.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I'd say now at any moment, if you guys felt, you know, you and your wife, you guys felt that I was trying to take it from you, that wasn't. My apologies at any moment that made you feel that way because that wasn't my intention, you know. And I think after the conversation, you know, we had on the phone when everything got deleted, it was one of these things. So I was like, well, we don't know what to do, you know. And I genuinely felt like a loss because I felt like I did, because me and New York, we were very close. You know,
There's a lot of people that were against you and I even being friends because they knew who we were together.
Yeah.
I think more so people were afraid to see us together because they knew who we were. Than to see us together. I even have family members to where I don't want you around him, this and that. And I'm like, I don't even want to be around you.
Yeah.
So, you know, but that's how,
so
you know what I'm saying?
I gotta say that too.
I don't even want to be around you. Where have you been in my life?
Yeah, all of a sudden,
you want to have a say so in my life. And even the way it ended, it showed a level of immaturity on my side. And that's something that I had to go through for those next 6 months or however many months that it was. Because I'm like, dude, I was faced with me. And I felt like it didn't have to happen the way it happened, but it happened the way it happened in order for me to grow. And I had to do a lot of facing myself. Because I'm like, I don't like that guy. Like I didn't like that guy. You know, I didn't like that person in me. And I told Ashley, like, I just can't be a hypocrite no more. Like I just see too many people that we know that are in the church that I'm like, y'all some freaking fake mother lovers, brother.
Fakies.
Y'all fake. You know, I'm like, how is it you're gonna preach this and preach that? But then I'm like, oh shoot, Nehemiah, you might not drink and party, you might not smoke weed, you might not cheat on your wife, but your attitude is the problem. Your anger is the problem. You're the problem, boy.
Yeah.
You yourself, your mind is the problem. And I'm like, oh God.
Well, I see. Think that's
and that's where I I had to face it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to face it almost genuinely. And I had to face it alone. I had to face that between just me, God, and like just.
And our wives picking up the damage, right?
Picking up all the damage.
The wake of our damage. You know, it's like, well, here's the thing. One thing that stands out is when we met at the park. You know, I'm not going to rehash it, but from my point of view, I understood you.
Yeah.
I understood her demeanor. I understood Joey's. You know,
I remember you telling me that on the phone.
And the only thing I could say, and I feel like this is what's important, because we've said a lot of things to each other. You know, and a lot of times, man, when people listening, watching, man, they're in a situation that they're not cool with their mom, their dad, their sister, their sibling, their friend, their best friend.
I got siblings right now that are
right.
Yeah.
And the thing is though, we get to a point where we want to be justified. We want like, well, no, here's my truth or my experience. And every time me and you, or we had that incident at the park where we met, and you saw me, man, I was malnourished. I looked dead. I had my oxygen tank on me. So they're like, if this dude's going to fight me, I'm going to lose because there's no way.
I would never do that, bro.
You know? I was just like, God, I'm going to take it. But all I could look at was my mirror, right? Because I remember doing that to people. I remember in my younger stages, I was like that. Yeah. You know, so who am I to judge this man? Who am I to be upset at him? Because that's who I was. And for me to finally say, oh, well, look, you did this to me. I'm the victim. No, man, that's me. So God showed me a level of forgiveness because that's the way he looks at me every day. And how much we deserve the wrath. And it's like, who am I to cast that on?
Yeah.
And God really checked me, man, because all I had was just like, God. And by no means, I understood the feeling when Jesus said, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Genuinely, man, I was like, that's my boy right there. No matter if we stop talking for a year, I always knew I'm going to be the first one to call this guy. Because again, I have to be, God called me to be that man. Yeah. You know, and to be there, to be here finally to talk about it. Because a lot of people.
It's been almost 2 years.
Yeah. A lot of people tripping out like, dude, no, not you. What happened with you and Nemo? And you know, I don't know, man. I just think the most important, the basis of this podcast or this conversation really is like what, you know, like the mirror, it's you, you know, after that, like what happened? Cause I remember we both got kind of stuck in the parking lot. We were kind of leaving.
I have no idea.
And we were like, but where were you after that? Cause I want to genuinely work our way.
Mentally, like after all that happened, I remember sitting down with Joey. And him telling me what I saw back there, I know it was hurt. I know you were angry. Like he said, you never let nothing take your integrity away. You don't ever let nothing take who you are away. And that's when that whole rest of the day, I had to self-reflect. Because I did see some parts in me that I didn't like. I was like, that's not me.
You know what I think it is sometimes? Is sometimes we try to elevate the situation to make us look or feel a certain way, like somebody, because really it is a form of like intimidation. I want to intimidate people to let them know, hey man, I'm about it. I'm down. And
I'm not even like that. That's the thing. Like I've never been I don't like to intimidate people. I like to love people.
You're a big old teddy bear.
I'm the first one to say, I won't fight. I'll hug. Let's love. Let's talk. Let's work this way through. And there I was ready. I don't know what the heck I was ready to do. Honestly,
I'm gonna take it on the chin.
Honestly, I'd have bear hugged you or something. I don't know. You know, I was like, he looked weak. I look a little stronger. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But it was weak. You know. But it was like, bro, like this is stupid. But I had to look stupid and feel stupid in order to not be stupid and feel stupid anymore.
Well, you know the feeling.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like that again.
And then fast forward, I kind of had to. It wasn't nowhere near to this magnitude, but like I had to almost go through the same thing with someone else. And I had to sit back and be like, all right.
Well, let me ask you this. I feel like this one of the things we've always heard, you know, at least, because believe me, I had someone in my life preventing me and Lily watched the Johnny Manziel the documentary yesterday on Netflix, Untold. And all they kept doing was trying to protect him and put out his fires, right? So every time this dude would do something, like, there he goes again, man, pull it back, you know, and that's how I was, you know, and I feel like with you, people would always, tell me, and I even noticed this, like you 10 steps great in life, but you take 15 back. Then you take 10 more, but you're like in the -5. And it's like, I was always trying to protect that from you, And again, we're young. I'm not going to, again, come at you in a point of like, Jose's no better because you saw what I was. You saw what I was. And
I don't see no drinks anymore. So
nothing.
We're good.
Yeah, yeah, we got waters. So you understand it because you saw me, dude. Especially when we did the live.
Yeah. My boy was
I was gone, and so I think that's what I was trying to prevent more, and I feel like me trying to prevent and put out fires and get ready to put out fires. It wasn't my responsibility. It was my responsibility just to be your brother and not. You can't be acting like this because I felt like I was telling you certain times, stop doing this. Stop doing
it was a couple times, for sure.
Yeah, and it's like that's not my place. When I finally looked back at everything, I was like, that shouldn't have been my place. And that's God's. That's the Holy Spirit's place, man. And again, we've talked so many times before this, right? In the reconciliation, where do you feel like now more like, because I can tell you've grown because we're listening, we're talking, we're usually like Unfiltered where I was interrupting each other. I still have all our stuff.
I need some of that, man.
I got them all.
Because my laptop completely crashed. And I was like,
no. Yeah, I got them all, man, and I'll give them to you, man. But where do you feel like now you're starting to see a growth, man? Where do you feel like you struggle too still?
I've grown as a man. Picked up my ball sack and started walking. So I probably shouldn't say it that rough. My bad. Sorry. My bad. But it's true.
Well,
for so long.
We're still like that.
For so long, I thought I was the head of the house and I was the man, but like my balls was in my wife's pocketbook. Because, I can do this, but then she's going to pull me back. And she had a point where she just said, I'm going to let you fall. And as a wife, right, as a husband, I'm like, I don't, what you mean? She said, no, you just going to have to. And I had to fall. But I had to come to a realization that my pride can't be in the way. Like, my pride can't be in the way of my purpose. And if my pride is in the way of my purpose, I'm going to keep running into the same exact wall. And I'm going to keep taking 10 steps back. I'm going to keep, I'll make progression only to make a destruction afterwards. Like, that can't happen. And so, man, I had to just start growing. I had to realize that I can't live church. I got to be the church. Because,
but how many times have we heard that? But right?
I've heard that my entire life, and I've told that to people, and I'm like, bro, but you worse than them. and it was really like to the point where I had a mirror in front of me every day.
Come on.
And to this day, I still have it. Where can I grow tomorrow that I fell off today?
Yeah.
And that's been my everyday. Like even as she's like, she'll tell me little things of like, you're growing here. I can see it here. I can see where you're falling off here. And it's having that genuine like conversation. I didn't go to Ashley a lot. If I'm being honest, 6 months ago, I wasn't even going to her a lot about just when I feel this, when I feel that, when I'm going through this, and I was like, I'll face it on my own because I don't want my wife to feel this. I don't want my wife to feel this pain. I don't want my wife to feel that. More on her. I don't want her to go because then she's going through what she's going through. Now she can't tell me what she's going through because I'm this and that and a third. And then it just came to a point where it's like, if I can't be vulnerable to the woman that I love more than anyone else in this world, if I can't be vulnerable to the one that I lay my head, I had laid next to, that we conceived a beautiful child. If I can't say, you know what, this is a marriage thing. This is something I said yes to. This is something that I'm to the rest of my life.
Yeah.
If I can't talk to her about it, then who else? So then I just started to talk to Ashley. I started to like tell her, man, like, hey, I'm going through this. I'm hurting here. This is where I'm at. This is where I'm struggling with. And Ashley's like, okay, let's deal with it. Okay, let's go through it, babe. Okay, let's read our word together. Let's do this. Let's do that. And she's like, well, I don't know the answers to, babe. We're just going to have to pray together. And that's what it was. And I almost felt like I've had to be alone for the last 6 months with really just me, Ashley, the baby, and just a lot of growth within myself. A lot of like, you don't have the answers, Sway. Kanye West. Like, you don't have the answers, right?
And you guys are alone, literally up in the Bay right now. It's just you and your
wife. My parents live, 5 minutes away. Or whatever,
so they're not
No, they're here. They're in the Bay as well.
Okay, so
so they're there, and that's amazing. But like it's us.
Yeah.
It's us. It's us three, and what better to have us three, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, than to have Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Juanito, Panchita, and Pablito trying to tell me something. Yeah. Like it's just like directly listen to him. I started to hear his voice. I was too busy talking to him, not listening. And this time I did that.
Well, especially as guys that own or have podcasts and that can talk and BS with the best of them, you know. Because again, I hear that, you know, how old are you?
28.
28. Actually, you're 30, huh? Cougar, huh? She's in the
So is this actually you guys' first time on your own living together? You know, me and Jose had went after everything. I was like, you know, they just need to be on their own. Not having mom and dad and just people around. Just you guys were, I don't think you guys were ever really to be husband and wife.
No.
And child without other influences.
Yeah, 100%.
I go, that's what they need. Because you can't be a man but still live under your dad. You know?
Get your free shot in there, girl. You're talking.
Get yourself. She's like, I don't want
know if I wanted it.
Girl, keep going. You preaching.
No, but I think that's what we talked about. Like they just need to be on their own because it's different. Because we kind of experienced the same thing. You know, we just had to be on our own, figure life out, and not have that parachute to catch us. You just like, if we're gonna fall, we got to make it work ourselves. Can't depend on anybody. Yeah. So I mean, that's great, you guys.
Sure, I was stabbing that damn parachute. No, I don't want a parachute.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. We had to learn to get away, man. It was one of the hardest decisions we had to make. I was 35 getting away from it. So that's pretty late. You know, I'm 42 now. You all say, man, bro, you're old. You know?
I was about to say it.
But I beat you. But the thing was, man, again, it's never too late, man, because God, you know, God is just, his favor is so great, man, because he's waiting for us to get out the way. He's waiting for us to trust him, right? Quit relying on your parents. Quit relying on people to bail you out. And it's not so much we felt like we were intentionally that I have to rely on them. Sometimes that's all we know. And to break what's familiar and to trust in God, to break what's familiar and to actually walk into faith. You know, that's where we had to grow, man. And I'm glad you guys are doing that at such a young age still. You know, it's one of these things where I look back if I didn't do that, because I could have done that when I was early 30s.
Yeah.
But I didn't. You know, you guys know this story about this guy prophesying over my life when we bought that car out there.
Yeah.
And you go, dude, you got to get a bigger car. Nope. When I buy a new car, man, that's when I know God's changing my life. And dude, we got a brand new car.
You got to do it.
It's brand new, you know, and it's like God's changing my life.
Yeah.
You know, and the growth, I felt like, I was like, man, I could have been doing this long time ago. But it's like, I'm only mad at myself. And God is, all right, you little fool. I'll let you keep being you. Yeah. You know, what the devil meant for bad, God will make it for make it for his glory. Yeah. You know, and I think that's why having you on, man, really just is going to speak a lot to a lot of people that are in a broken relationship with their family members, friends, closest people they grew up with, you know, done things with, you know, and to start taking these steps of reconciliation, man. And the Bible says, humble yourself. Because I stand before God, me,
not you,
not everybody, just me and him. He's going to be like, well done. Because he knows who my heart. He knows I never want to be the one to not. I'll wait for it. I feel like that's always worked in my life. It's like I'm always one that has to take the first step.
Yeah.
You know, that's just what I'm always meant to be, you know. And I think where, you know, hearing your growth, man, it's just, you're right on track. Because I love how you guys have your house. You know, you guys just fit your house. That feeling, I know you guys are just sitting there, oh man, babe, look. We're here. How did we get here?
We do that once a week.
Right? Yeah. And then it just goes to show when you guys learn to trust in each other and when you learn to put your faith in God and you bust your butt with your passion, because your guys' content creating has just elevated way beyond, you know, your years, man.
Thank you, man.
You know, and I feel like that's the fruit and that's all God's been waiting for you guys is to have faith in him.
Yeah. That's what it was. That's all it was. It's that realization of it's you and God. It's you and the Holy Spirit. I heard a guy Shout out to Steven. He said, we look so much sometimes to be like, well, when 2 or 3 are gathered, then he is there, right? And he goes, he's there all the time because it's you and the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It's you, and then it's the Holy Spirit that lives within you.
Mm-hmm.
So once you realize that you're walking already with him and he's walking with you all the time, you walk differently.
Yep.
You act differently. Like, I nonchalantly, bro, I start talking to myself, and I'm not talking to myself. People think, some of my coworkers, are you talking to yourself? Nah, bro, you know. I ain't, you know what's up, bro.
I'm getting my Shondo on right
I'm
now.
talking to God. Like, I'm talking to the Holy Spirit that's in me.
Mm-hmm.
Because greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And like, bro, I started like, man, all these like cliche scriptures, all these cliche things said, bro, they were cliche, but they're so freaking real, bro. And it wasn't real until I made it real for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're under great leadership. The pastor, like, just, bro, like, this dude just went on an 8-week series on just enemies. And I'm like, dang, he's basically the enemies. Yeah, there's those people around you, but it's you.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment you kill you is the moment that you can defeat you, conquer you, in order for God to be then stronger within you. And that's just where I'm at, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are we going to keep fighting? Why are we going to have this weird vibe between us? This, when we can just shake hands and let's go save more people for God.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go show people, by us being on camera, I know some people are going to be like, bro, them fools, I almost said something else. Them fools tripping.
Mm-hmm.
These boys is stupid, but it's like, no, it's not.
That's so funny.
Because, bro, if we serve a mighty God like we do serve, then this is normal.
Yeah.
Because he showed us a representation of this being normal.
Yeah. Forgiveness, man.
This is normal.
Mm-hmm.
God gave us grace for a reason. There's faith. We have faith in him for a reason. So it's like, this is normal, bro.
Yeah.
We have to make this normal.
Yeah.
Not make fighting and arguing and making content about each other and arguing. For what?
Mm-hmm.
For you to look good?
Mm-hmm.
And anything and making you look terrible.
Yeah.
So it's like, nah, bro, like,
you're only going to reach the people. Again, we heard that cliche.
reach the same people.
Yeah, the same people that think and are hurt or offended like you. You know, that same boat. You know, because you know me, my in-laws we're good. We're working on a relationship daily. When we go out of town, we're in San Diego this past week, and the kids stayed there. When we were in Arizona, the kids stayed there. You know, that we thought that would never, ever happen
again, yeah.
You know, but we had to talk with my in-laws, man, especially my mother-in-law, man. You know, sometimes if you were a man, you know, this fist, you know, but,
man, you real quick.
I know.
Come on.
Does she want to come in? You want to come in? Come in, Sam, Mom. Step her over. Do the limbo.
She know better. She should know what's up.
You're going to see Isla walk by. Say hi to the camera. Bye. You know, and I think that was one of the greatest experiences I had is talking to my in-laws, man. And you know when people tell you, Jose, I know you've changed, or Nemo, I know you've changed, but you got to remember how you were.
Yeah.
You know, there's I forgive you, we're growing, but
remember who that was, yeah.
You know, and I told her, I was like, just imagine. I told her, I was like, and we're good now. And this is actual experience that happened. And I had told her, I was like, Letty, just imagine if we served a God like you. Mm-hmm. When we go to God and we try to ask for forgiveness, and God says, hey, I forgive you, but you got to remember. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's not grace. Mm-hmm. That's not mercy. Mm-hmm. I was like, so I thank God that I don't serve a God like you, because none of us would make it to heaven. Mm-hmm. And so she had to think. She had to be like, you're right. I can't be holding this over people. You know, because it's not my job to show that I've changed. It's not your job to show people. You see that quote again, you know, you guys are all stuck on the older version of me, but I'm different now. And it's like, yeah, but you still got to fix the older version, you know, because the older version was true. Yes, it was real. But you got to live in such a way to prove that that's not me. Mm-hmm. My words no more don't matter because people are tired of our words. Let's live it out. And dude, genuinely, I see it in your daughter. I see it in your wife, you know, and just you have a great family. And Pastor Marty told me on my podcast with him a few weeks ago, he's like, you know what, Jose, I'll just tell you, man, you can tell the character of a man. You can tell who he is by how his kids are and how his wife is. Yep. He's like, I want to tell you, you have an amazing family. And dude, that spoke volumes to me because I never thought anything about that. And I can see that in you, man. Genuinely, I can see that, bro. So thank God we don't serve people that want to hold things over us because God will never hold it. You got to remember, you're like this.
Yeah.
You know, and when we hear that, when you hear, because you obviously probably have heard that, you know, how does this world, people that don't know Jesus or hate church or hate Christians or hate God, how do you show them that the true nature of who God is, that who he is to us?
You just got to walk it out.
Mm-hmm.
We have to just walk in who God has created us now to be.
Yeah.
Who God has reconciled us to be. And we just got to walk in it.
Mm-hmm.
I no longer want to prove to anybody through my words. I just prove through my walk.
Mm-hmm.
Because my walk will leave footprints of where I used to be. But my walk forward will leave greatness, what's coming.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were talking about that forgive. Our church has a song that I think is releasing in October. It's called Forgive and Forget. And I love that song because it says, you took everything and you threw it all away.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is forgiveness. Like,
hold on. She wants to go out again? Yeah, go ahead. She's fine.
She's good.
It's not no
my little baby.
High tech podcast. She's good.
Not when she's around.
Yeah.
She
same old just in and out. The same old.
But yeah, man. Like I
dude, I've been listening to that worship, man. Those guys.
I just want to walk.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I want to walk. I really don't want to. I don't have to say that no more.
Facts. Yeah.
I don't. And if I have to tell you something, that means you don't belong with me.
Mm-hmm. That's real. What's like, maybe explain that more, elaborate on that, you know, because maybe even bring it down to, I always try not to over Christianese everything.
Yeah.
I really don't, man, because if I really want to reach people, you know, for the gospel.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to let my life see it. Mm-hmm. My whole family. When we've had guests come here, I had rappers here that are smoking weed in my house. But they're like, bro, you got a beautiful family. What is that like? What is that about? And dude, I'm witnessing to them.
Yeah.
You know, and these guys that don't have a slightest idea of like, you know, really who God can be in their life, but they see something, you know, and they may walk away and just go live their rap life and, you know.
They might go smoking a blunt right out front.
Yeah. But the thing was, the seed was planted, you know, and they are without excuse.
Yeah. 100%.
So again, it's not my place to show them or tell them, but just to live something that I remember this one dude, you know, how do you, you know, not dumb it down, but bring it down to a level of like not so Christianese, you know, finding that person to be, you know, speaking, letting your life speak more, man, and connecting with people. It's like, if I have to explain myself to you, then you're not in my life. You shouldn't be in my life.
Yeah. Because I'll say like this. I'll use my job as an example, right? Mm-hmm. With my workplace, 99% of them, they might know God, they might know of God, or some of them might not know of God. And I'm working, so I'm driving an hour plus with these dudes in the car, right? So if I'm walking an hour plus, just me and you, how do I witness without trying to be that weird Christian, right?
Yeah.
Because us Christians, we are weird.
Yeah, we are weird.
Yeah, we're freaking weird. But when they start to ask me, hey man, you always wear a wedding ring. We got dudes that are married, but why do you always wear a band? I don't know, because it's a covenant that me and my wife have. It's not a contract. I hate when people say, oh, marriage is just a contract. No, it's not. Mm-hmm. That's a promise to me and you, baby. Mm-hmm. That's a promise that I'm going to love you, going to cherish you. I'm going to be there with you. Life, you know what I mean? You know the vows. So for me, I just simply be me. I simply the jokester guy, joking around. Look at this guy. He don't know how to freaking drive, bro. Get out of my way. Yeah. But they're like, but they notice I didn't cuss. I didn't say F you. I didn't stick the middle finger up when they stuck it up to me. I didn't brake check them when they went in front of me. And then I went back in front of them. Like I didn't brake check them, you know? Like I just kept driving. Yeah. When they're telling me, because for some reason they just start telling me their problems. Or they start talking to me about situations. And I just talk to them, like, man, honestly, bro, like I don't think it's smart, man. You got 2 kids now. Like, but you want to leave because of this? Well, that shows the character who you are to your kids. Well, I know she's a newborn and she don't understand that, but she's going to grow up to know, oh, my dad quits a lot. Yeah. And then he goes, "Hey, bro, why do you think like this, bro? Like, you think different. Why did you get married so young?" Because I got married 22. And these are 24. And they,
Actually, it was 42. No,
62. What you talking about? I get my senior discount with that. Come on, man. That's why I married
the deal, boy.
No, but it's just as simple as just walking every day. Being nice.
Yeah.
Honestly, when you're nice at the age that I am, where I live, that speaks more than anything else. Why are you so nice? I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
This is why I'm nice, man, because I don't deserve where I'm at. But, bro, I've been through some crazy things, man. My marriage has been through it. But the reason why I'm cool and I am who I am today and I love talking about my wife is because I know what we've been through. And what y'all been through, then, if they ask, I'll share because they don't know me.
Yeah.
But, like, if you know me and you know what we've been through, man, don't sit here and question me.
Yeah. That's real.
You must be different now, boy. What you doing? I'm just living. That's literally what I tell people. I'm just living. Boy, I'm just having fun, man. I can't take life too serious, bro. I'm gonna be old already. I already look old because I'm fat. Like, I can't, you know what I mean?
Man, you are not old.
But like,
you can work on being chunky, dude. I can't work on being old, man. I'm 42, man.
But like, it's just walking, bro. When you walk your life just as you, and you don't try to be somebody else, that speaks more than anything else.
When I think at just a basic form of that, man, people, I feel like this generation, man, has this narrative of life of like, I got to present a level of excellence or present a false.
It's that go get it mentality.
Yeah. It's like, but when they're not on, the camera's not on them, TikTok or whatever, they're not shooting a reel. They're just disconnected.
Yeah.
Right. And this not matching their lifestyle. And I think that's why I'm careful how I am with this now.
Yeah. Really,
I am, because we were just at Pastor Edwards' event. Shout out him with their shoe event. And I was just kind of, I didn't wear my brand shirt. Didn't want to make it about me. It was their event. We hopped out a little bit. We kind of just stood off the way. If we need anything, we'll help, And it's like, I didn't want to go clout chasing for that. Oh, it's still here's here,
I don't care about clout chasing.
Yeah.
Can I say something about that?
Go ahead.
So I'd say this, and this might sound very arrogant, very prideful. Why do you chase clout when you are the clout? To be chased. Because God created you a certain way that people want. So why am I going to act like somebody else? Why am I going to make my reels like everybody else? Why am I going to make my podcasts like everybody else? Why am I going to try to do the shout outs and the scream, yo, what's up, everybody? That's not me. Hey, what's up, family? That's me. Why am I, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why am I going to try to live up
I noticed your vibe just is more laid back now.
This is who I am on and off camera. Bro, the last podcast was too vulnerable, in my opinion. I'm like, I didn't want to post it. I told Ashley, was right or wrong, I don't want to post this, babe. I literally just talked about my issue in front of everybody. Like, I want to talk about when I conquer it, not when, but then the Holy Spirit said, oh, so you're going to be like everybody else? I'm like,
what was this?
Upload.
What's that one song, Laura? What does she say? When I think about the Lord, go to your 3-shot. Remember?
What did she say?
Yeah.
She says, let me see. So
it's Saudi, huh?
The song is when I think about
so.
Huh?
She's singing it. Go ahead.
Oh, when I think about the Lord, she said that in junior high she struggled with suicidal thoughts. So she was in a worship practice or something in prayer, and she heard the voice say, no one would care if you're even here. No one would notice.
No one loves you.
If you were even here,
Wow.
So she asked God, God, why are you letting me hear this voice? Because when I got saved, I got rid of this voice. Why are you letting me hear it? And she says, she felt like he said, because it's not for you. It's for the people that are coming on Sunday. She says, just remind them of your testimony. So that's what.
When I think that's what reminded me of what you said, man. It's not for you.
Oh.
And I feel like what I say here and do here, why am I being so vulnerable? Because I remember I sent Justin one of my pods, right? He listened to it, right? He's like, it's good, man, but are you sure you want to put that type of stuff out there? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, if that's you. And it's like, and I heard that, and it's like, I'm glad you did that. I hadn't got a chance to watch it. We've been out of town, man, but I think that's where God wants you, man, because The moment you mess up and you know it, the moment you're about to latch out, go to episode 2, episode 3, episode 7.
That's the thing, bro.
Once it's out there, it's out there.
So we record it, then I edit it, then I watch it again for the reels, and then I watch it when it's posted. I don't watch this thing 4 times. And it's like, it's stuck inside of me. So it's like, if I'm not Nehemiah in this camera, behind this camera, then I'm not Nehemiah. I don't know who I am. But if I know who I am, well, I'm going to act like me.
Come on.
Too many people, and I know people, man. I've done content with some people. I've sat next to some people where I'm like, why are you so fake, bro? And the thing is, and if you start talking to them, they get so defensive when you confront it. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, only if you tapped into this. And it took me a while, but I finally tapped into that. That's why I'm like that. And that's why I was like, all right, Lord, like, I'm just going to be me. All right, babe, like, correct me. I like, this is full on, like, Ash, correct me. I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, correct. And she'll do it. Like, during that podcast, I'll just share a little bit about it. Like, I've been kind of acting a little different. She's like, you've been sleeping a lot lately again. You've been doing this and doing that. And I was like, I've been in the creator's block. And she's like, well, probably you're in the creator's block because are you feeling depressed again? I start crying on the podcast. I start crying as soon as she asked me that, bro.
That true? Yeah. She's like, yeah.
And it's not like...
She smiled when she said, yeah.
And I'm like, yo, this was supposed to be an update video because we didn't post for 2 weeks and you're over here making me get into the... But I'm like... But she didn't even know that I was crying out to God that morning. On the way home, like, Lord, why do I feel this way? I'm getting emotional now. Like, Lord, why do I feel this way? And God said, you got to feel it because who you about to talk to is feeling that.
That's so real.
And I'm like, all right. And then, like, the moment that she got off, bro, the moment we got done with the podcast, whatever I felt went away. Whatever I felt those weeks went away. And it was just like, I didn't like it, bro. Trust me, I strongly disliked that feeling because I know what it's like to feel depressed. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to go through that. I've conquered it. And it's just like, I don't know why I feel it. And then it was just, she said, you're going back to the routine of, when you're tired, you're going to sleep. When you were tired, you would get on the laptop and you would do some editing. When you were tired, you would get up and walk. When you were tired, you would go do this, do that. You would say, hey, baby, you want to go to the mall and just go walk around? Hey, babe, you would say, hey, babe, let's go to the park, let's do that. She's like, you stop doing that. And it's like, oh, okay. If me and Ash, she didn't have that talk 6-7 months ago of like, hey, correct me when you see this. Or, hey, babe, I'm going to just tell you exactly how I feel all the time. I don't care if it, like, at this, like, not to be rude, but if it hurts you, I'm kind of sorry. But, like, I got to tell you because if I don't tell you, it's going to hurt you more later when I do tell you. And when we started to have that, I was able to have that. No, it was in front of a camera. We didn't talk about it, right? We did not talk about it at all. I literally sat down and said, babe, we're going to do an update video. Just going to update people, let them know kind of how the show's going to run now, what we're going to do. We didn't even talk about that, bro. It was like, I'm going through a creator's block. And she goes, was it because you're depressed? It wasn't necessarily like that, but at the same time, it was kind of like that. And, bro, like the messages I got from that. And I'm like, wow. Okay, Lord, thank you. And I've been at my most vulnerable, most realist stage of my life now because of just everything that's happened. From what happened 2 years ago to today. A lot of growth, man.
I can see it, man. I can hear it.
And it's weird to be like in a place where sometimes I reminisce. I know who I was sitting right here. I remember who I was sitting over here. You know, like I remember who I was at that moment. And I thank God that I'm not who I am anymore. You know, I can't blame you for what happened. You can only blame me. Because what did I do wrong in those moments? Yeah, if you have fault in it, oh well, who cares? It wouldn't have happened if I didn't do this. If I didn't do that. I can't blame nobody else.
Well, see, I think that's the perfect example is because when I talked about, because God brought me through this when I was jumping on other people's podcasts. You know, we're what happened to us was real, right? In your life, it happened. In my life, it happened. Actually, all of it. Anybody listening and watching. You know, a lot of times when we speak about what happened to us, yes, it's true. Yes, we maybe feel vindicated or we're not vindicated, but we have every right everything points to us like we're the victims, but we're still speaking from only hurt. Right? So because we're speaking about what really happened, we're speaking from a position of hurt, and we're not speaking from the position of healing. When you speak from healing, you know how to connect with the person that's in the hurt to pull the healing out, man. Because sometimes when we speak from hurt, we only want to get people on our side. We only want to make people know how bad we were hurt. Don't go support them. Don't go watch them. Don't go to that church. Don't know.
Yeah. 100%.
And that's really, even though you know you're right.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I've learned more than ever now not to speak from obviously the hurt, but the healing part, because only God, man, gets the glory. You know, what could I have done different? You know, what could I have done? Yeah, again, we can go back at it and bring, there's no reason to, but the reality is, it's like you said, it was me. If I didn't act this way, if I didn't come off this way, we wouldn't be in that situation, because it may or may not have triggered something in them, you know. 100%. And so
I agree, man. Mm-hmm. I agree with that, because in order for you to grow, you got to look at yourself. Mm-hmm. There's your roots.
Yeah.
It's not his. Mm-hmm. His roots can't touch your roots. Because when I leave this room, it's only your roots here. Mm-hmm. It ain't mine. And it's that growth, bro. Like, I refuse to be who I used to be. And that's every single day. Don't pick that dude up. Mm-hmm. Now, yeah, certain parts of my drive I wish was who I used to be, but that's not who I am anymore. I grew up a little bit, and you had to.
Do you think the first part of your drive was more about you and ego? And...
It was all my pride. Mm-hmm. It was all my pride. It was all to lift me up. It was all, even when we started Creative Culture, it was, we want to be the biggest faith-based podcast. For what?
That's so true.
¿Pa qué?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. That's why I say, if two people watch, and out of those two people, one person got touched, that's what I do it for. And I told Ashley, like, I did go to that career spot because I almost started competing. And I'm like, who am I competing with? But it was that quick self-reflection of stop it. Not, let's drive on that. Mm-hmm. For what, bro? Who you gonna do? What you gonna do? Gain the whole world and lose your soul, lose your family, lose your daughter, lose your like, she's more important than anybody. I will say no immediately. To be, oh, you're whooped. No, I love my wife. Mm-hmm. And if you loved yours enough, you would do the same thing, brother. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I would tell people. Like, oh, here goes Nemo. Nah, he gonna say, nah, bro, he can't hang out with the boys. Because that's true, I can't, bro. Because I haven't been with my family all week, and I need to be with my wife. Mm-hmm. Because you can leave my life tomorrow, but she ain't. Yep. And I had to stop letting my life also be a revolving door.
Explain that. What do you mean by, like, just what was...
I would let people come in and out of my life. Mm-hmm. We talk for a couple months, then we don't. We'll hang out, be best friends for a few months, then we don't. And then it's like, oh, then you're going to go and tell this guy about me? It's like, hold up. Mm-hmm. If you leave my life right now, don't expect to come back. Respectfully. I'll love you no matter what, because that's what God called me to do. But God, I don't think in the Bible it says, the Bible says love your neighbor as yourself, but the Bible, I don't, and maybe I'm wrong, scholars who's listening, I don't see in the Bible where it says if they leave your life, you got to let them back in. You have to let them back in. You like, oh, my neighbor did me wrong. Cool, I'm going to love you. And if my neighbor didn't do me wrong, cool, I'm going to love you. But I'm not going to keep letting you into this.
Yeah.
To take all this out.
Well, I think it's a boundary.
People would come, bro, like 100%. People would call me, come in my life. Hey, man, you had a successful thing. How do you do it? Mm-hmm. How did you do it?
Hey, you were getting those calls.
Hey, bro. Hey, bro.
You were getting those calls.
Like, it was hey, bro. Let's go out for lunch. We go out for lunch and
let me pick your brain.
Exactly. And then I'm like, and then I tell them, and I started to tell them, like, I will never like deny that. But honestly, bro, I can only tell you one thing. How bad do you really want it? And then it's like, I would tell them a couple of things, right? First thing I'll tell them, how bad do you want it? And two, I'll tell them, what are you doing this for? And three, who are you doing this for? And why are you doing it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro, I already got that. All right, cool. That's all you need. Yeah, but equipment. It's all you need. You got a phone, right? That you call me with? It's all you need. I stopped because I'm like, oh, cool. You're gonna go and do that, and then say you built it on your own. I don't care. I don't need a shout out, but don't lie to people, bro.
Well, that's still happening to me now, right?
Bro,
welcome to my world.
I'm changing my phone number.
Dang, how long have you had that one?
That's the longest one I've had.
Since like you're 2?
No. I've had this one at like 8. No, me and Ashley got together. I think I've had this number, right? Right since we've been married, no?
Before?
Yeah. I usually be changing my number a lot, but
that's weird. Then I still have it. Then
but I'm changing it because like I said, I can't let my life be a revolving door because every time you come in, I let you in, bro, and I love too hard, and I'm a loyal, loving person, and people know that, and people see that in me. So it's like if I keep letting love and loyalty get taken out of me, then I'm gonna be left empty. I can't keep giving my heart to everybody. I can't keep giving my love to everybody.
Because we created an expectation of like, maybe they'll show me some love. Maybe they'll do a kickback or something. Because because at any point, like if anybody came, if I went to anybody, I would be that guy to show the love. Because there are a lot of people that I've learned from and gleaned from to be where I'm at today, man. To this day, I give them shout out.
Yeah.
I'm at where I'm at because of these people.
I've given you shout outs.
Well,
even on creative culture, when we weren't all right, when we weren't good, when me and you were not on good terms, when we didn't talk yet, I would do that. I told Ashley I'll never forget what Jose did for me, because that's I know what he did do for me. Like I don't.
I'll tell you this in front of everybody, dude. You got me into podcasting. Period. When you called me and you're like, "Hey, I need intros for logos and all that," and I made Unfiltered and. You're like, hey, I want you on as a guest. Because when we left Selma and I left Doug's church, I left Marty's church, and I was like, I'm done. I'm not ever going back. I didn't think once for podcasting because I didn't think I was good enough, man. I was leaving a mindset, a culture of I was never good enough because I didn't have this title or this, right? Yeah. So when I was on your podcast, you can see I was real kind of standoffish. I was just kind of, just real serious.
Yeah. Little bitter,
but then I realized the seed was planted, right? And then we went on it again. I was like, I'm going to speak on this. And then we came.
Again.
Yeah. And it's like,
and then eventually it was like, hey, let's just do it.
Yeah. And then you got me started in this, man. Look where I'm at, man. Everyone's like, dude, you're like the best podcast production in the Central Valley.
I don't see nobody else doing it like
and it's like, it's like, because of Nemo. Facts. I wouldn't be here. I'd be in my little apartment right now being bitter if I didn't learn to start talking about things and showing me that, dude, you're the problem. You're the problem. We left Selma for a reason, to stop making excuses. And I'm that guy because, like you said, to kind of get back into like the door, man. It's like we're very careful on who we speak to now. There's this one guy I talked to, and I'll say his name's Matt Kramer. And me and him finally had to talk. And because he was always trying to pick my brain.
I know who you.
And he was I told him this. That's why I can say it so publicly. He's like, dude, I just feel like you're just trying to get in on me to learn because I'm doing it up and you want to get where I'm at. I was like, because I was helping New Hope out and they were paying me, but then obviously you probably didn't like that. So now I'm not, but all of a sudden you're doing it. So I'm thinking you want to learn from me to make you look good, right? And he just finally had to tell me, no, man. He's like, I'm sorry if I felt like I made you feel like that. I felt like you're trying to just be this rat.
He's a good dude too, man.
And that's what I felt. Those were my experiences, right? So then we finally talked, and I will say, yes, he is a good dude, because him and another student that he's trying to bring on, the foundation is, dude, yo. So, but that's G14 classified right now. But that's what I'm very careful. You're right. Because I do feel like you guys are at a status, especially as content creator, business owners, that you guys are at a status for people to go to and learn from, but I'm very careful who I let in my life. And that's smart for you to do that.
I just noticed this, man. Like, not even you, man. Thank you for the super kind words, man. But like, if I'm being 100% honest, bro, like the reason why I don't tell nobody no more is because that's all you wanted me for. And it's like, I just it's and I didn't have expectations for people because I just do it off a good heart. And Ashley's the one that told me, "Hey, babe, you gotta."
Yeah, I thought it was our wifey.
Hey,
telling
babe,
us that.
you gotta relax, bro. Because there's right now, I can name a couple people that have started their businesses off of
your template.
But you was just around me enough to see it. And it's like, dang, I let you in.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, cool. And that's cool. I still support. I even like their stuff. I'll even share their stuff at times because I have nothing against it. But it's like, tell me why you really want me around you.
It was
tell
their
me.
intentions.
Yeah, tell me for real, bro.
Yeah, just tell me straight out. That's how I am. Hurt me, so at least I know.
Yeah, like, and that's why now, like, I'm very like, I can show you my text messages when we get off the phone, when we get off here. I'll tell you, you'll see you're one of only like a few. And it's like, that's it. I don't want to talk to you no more. Like, I just don't have time for you. Because now I'm taking time away from what's most important, which is my wife and my daughter. Well, what God gave us. I
don't think you were not. I mean, I was having to live with each other, but I don't think you were intentionally just ignoring them. You know, I think we do get on that false narrative of the grind.
I know I was.
You know,
I personally knew I was. I personally knew that I was putting stuff in front of my wife. I knew that I would put stuff in front of them. Like I knew. I would go to create content for somebody, or to go create content with somebody, to go have a lunch with somebody, to go do that.
Oh, okay.
Like I did. It was, I'm not saying this was probably like maybe a year ago. Like where everyone, like it was every week. I'm like, she's like, another meeting? And I'm like, yeah, I gotta go do this, babe. And she's like, for what? For them to steal your ideas? Man, you're just talking.
Yeah.
And then one day she said that, and I'm like, what you say? Oh, God, you're right. So I had a best friend of mine. He was like one of my best friends. I no longer talk to him. Like, we were super close. No longer talk to him, and you're doing what I, like, yeah, you wanted to do what we were doing together, but every time I would share with you what I was doing, you would just be like, oh, that's you, man. But now you're doing the same as I think? Okay. And it's like, guard your heart. Guard your heart. Ashley tells me all the time, guard your heart.
Well, one thing I learned about with the foundation, especially when, you know, because I know Johnny Fisher, I know, given the opportunity, I know he would still be down, but he had said something like, man, there's a place here in Clovis doing it, man. Oh, man, I don't know. And they already have everything. And he was just like stressing out, right? And I was like, well, here's the difference, Fish. They don't have me. They don't have you. Yep. You know, people can copy my recipe.
Yeah.
But they can never duplicate my sauce. It look like it, taste it, but there's just something missing.
Always.
You know, and I think
missing grandma's foot in it.
Yeah, and that's real because it's missing, you know, this dynamic. A couple, you know, you and your wife is missing me, my family in that. You know, because people going it, I don't know their intentions, man, but at some point it's just like, there's just something missing about that.
Yeah.
I didn't care for Bitwise at all. But look what happened to Bitwise. You know, the owners or the CEO and vice president stole hella money. Really? And everybody lost their jobs.
They took off.
You know, and actually made national news.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, bro. So
that should let you know how much I don't be tuned into nothing.
Yeah, and so I'm telling you, man, when people have it over on you, that's why I don't care what people are doing anymore. Because at face value, everything looks like, oh, well, they're just ahead of me. They think in my mind, my insecurity is like they're better than me.
But you don't know what they're losing behind the
doors. Then I'll get a DM from these people, other podcasters, and like, bro, I just want to tell you, man, you're the only one doing what you're doing consistently. Thank you. You know, I'm like, I didn't even know they felt that way.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like all I'm staying face is forward.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking about the real, making this podcast about other people, making this about you. You know, and that's where I think a lot of people are starting to glean from. They tell me, bro, you're real. You hear you're real. You're real. No, this is actually real. I was like, dude, I've never heard people talk like this. It's been a long time when you've heard real, you know, and that's where I feel like God has positioned me. And now that I've had Lily a part of the show, she's a co-host. Laura's been a host. And I know, like, when it was me and you and Unfiltered, it was just me and you. Our wives would just wait for us. They're all probably, look at those dumbasses in there just acting like they saving the world. They ain't saving junk.
You ain't saying nothing, boy.
Yeah. We over here struggling and you over here talking about better version. It's like,
oh, man. I stopped living that life, man. I stopped living that life.
Yep.
I stopped living in a false reality.
Come on.
Stop living in the false reality. You're not who you say you are, bro. You're not who you think you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're not who you think people say you are, bro. Be real.
Mm-hmm.
Be you. God only created you to be you. There's only one Nehemiah Cardona in this world.
Well, let me see if we correct that. God created you not for you, but created you to bring him glory.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
I agree.
That's it. You know, and I think that's where we were. We got caught in the hype.
I was missing it.
Yep.
I was missing it. I don't know what the heck was happening when we were there.
I don't either.
It's probably and it's like I see why God did what He did.
Mm-hmm.
I find true joy when I see my wife now doing what I do.
Fact. Same here, man.
I find true joy when I hear my daughter say, "Hey guys, welcome back."
That's so cute.
I find true joy. Yeah, she got tons of subscribers. I don't know if she's living in a false reality. No, I'm just kidding.
Get saved, Tyler. You're 4 years old. Now, how old is she? 4 or 5? 5 years old.
But I love. It's like, well, what I'm creating within them as the head of the house is what I should have been doing from day one.
Come on.
Bro, it took me. We married 6 years. It took me 4.5 years, really 5 years, to realize this. I love when my wife says, I can't, man, you are. Yes, babe, say it again. Come on, girl. Let's go to the room. You know,
we can make number 2.
but I just find true joy in it. You know what I'm saying? I find true joy in seeing that. And that's been the main thing, and it continues to be the main thing. I've been into, I thank God I've been into some incredible rooms with some incredible people. If I was to sit here and name some of these people that are in the Christian world that people know, they'll be like, you was in the room with who? You were doing what with what? With some of the, I mean, one of the probably best content creators in the Christian world. That like what he does when it comes to the like. No, yeah, I haven't like what?
Mm-hmm.
I told her, I know I don't belong in this room. I tell her, I don't. There's way more better people at content creating than me in this church. But God put me because of my heart, not because of what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me to hear, I've heard people just say, you're doing this with a genuine heart, you're not doing this because you're looking for something. That's all it's about.
Well, I think people know, people aren't stupid, man.
No.
They're not. And
I literally was like, I told that shit, I'm about to, like, we about to go to church tomorrow. We about to leave the night. And then you said something on the last podcast. She said, I think we need to get away. I know you said not Fresno, but still. But like, she's like, we need to get away so you can get that back. Get back that whatever I was missing. And I was like, you know what, babe? We stay until tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Because I need to get back. I need to get back to this.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get back to that dude. You know? Obviously, I haven't lost who I am. But man, it's been hard to create.
Yeah, I think once we get over and inundated with it, because I stopped creating. I was at a point where I don't need to create. I really don't no more.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like a good feeling because it's like when I remember first starting this business, it was about me. The business only flourishes when I made Laura a part of it. You know, and I put a camera in her hand. I was like, here. Huh? I was like, here. You know, and she's our whole format changed with our doctor client, and he wants 5 reels a day, 5 testimony reels a day, right? You know how long it just takes to edit 1 30, 40-second reel. So I'm slapping 5 of them out, you know, getting B-roll, and it's live happening. But at the same time, we have to still record content in 3 separate buildings. And this girl running around, big old camera, and just slapping 200, 300, 400 clips a day.
Love it.
You know, and it's like, man, I couldn't have done none of this without her. This podcast, you know, having Lily a part of it now. She's my man. I pay her. She edits all my content and I pay her. This girl's making more than the average Wendy's manager, McDonald's manager.
Go ahead, girl, get that bag.
She's making it, right? And I know it's working because I showed her, right? And I'm showing her. So now that's why the foundation is so important. And I think where we went wrong in the beginning was not having them in it. So they can look at it, man, you so full of it. Shut your lying. Every day. Right?
You're right.
And I think that's where God is like, man, you're good. Man, God. And that's why I like that song was like, where was I when I heard that song? I was, where was I, Lord? And I said,
we were in the car. We had just got in the car and we're looking for that song.
Yeah. I was just getting in the car and I was like, you know what? I was like, God, I'm just thinking about how good you are. And I was like, oh, that one song. So I heard the old gospel one. It was okay. But I heard this one church called Mercy Culture or something like that. And
people right there.
Dude.
Shout out to it. Yeah, I love you, bro.
Bro, so I played it, man. And that song just broke me right there. I'm like, man, God, you're good. That's why I like this podcast. I'll tell you, man, when I first was able to come in here the first time, after I knew we were done, I was like, man, God, I still got to continue. Look at all this stuff I have. So I didn't know what to call the podcast. I didn't know what the name. So I'm just sitting here and I just started thinking about all the stuff that happened to me as a kid, all the way up till that present moment. And all I said was like, dang, man, I'm still here. It's like, how or why, I don't know, but I'm still here. I was like, that's it, still here, man. Because everybody has a still here story. I'm still here. Despite all the haters, despite of life and death, despite of family or somebody or a pastor or people hating on you, lying on you, dismissing you, still here. They didn't beat you. I didn't beat me. I'm still here, even though I'm my own self-sabotager. It's like, I'm still here, and I think that resonates with you, man. And I think that's why, having you guys here in my house, man, is like, it's amazing because it's like, God, you're so good, and man, I know we can like go on forever, but where do you feel like maybe even like last thoughts and all this, but overall, your message to people listening and watching about reconciliation, personal growth, and growing in God, even if they don't believe in God, how do they fix it? How do they fix the problem?
Look in that mirror. You can't blame anyone else but you, because you gotta look in the mirror. Self-reflection is the greatest thing that I think has happened to me in the last however long it's been. If I never would have self-reflected, I would have never been able to defeat me. I always tell people this: stop giving the enemy credit because you're giving them free credit. You're not fighting the enemy. The enemy is the enemy. And the moment you defeat the enemy, you're able to conquer what's supposed to be conquered in your life. If you're married, listen to the voice of your spouse. Listen, man, listen. This is a gold mine. This is my millionaire right here. She gonna make me a millionaire.
Yeah, well, sugar mama.
But listening to your spouse, God chose them for a reason. You were chosen for a reason. You wanted to get on that one knee, guy, for a reason. You wanted to say, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Confess in front of however many people were there.
I wasn't.
You just different. but it's really of just reflect on you and be okay with not knowing that you ain't got it. Be okay with not knowing you ain't it. It's okay. It's not what you were created to be at maybe that second, that moment, or maybe you just weren't created to be that it person. Find who you are. Too many people want to be number one, but what's wrong with being number two? Yeah. What's wrong? Too many people want to be they want to be in front of this camera. The front of the camera really ain't. It's the one behind the camera. It's the number two person that's doing it all. The shots won't be shot if number two ain't doing the shot. It's okay to sometimes be number two. Because by being number two, eventually you'll be number one. In this culture that we live in today, everything's about the number one. I need to be. The person behind that's way more important. Facts. Way more important. Creative culture, our podcast. our slogan is creatives like you and I can change the culture we live in today. Creative doesn't mean what we're doing here with content. Creative is that mother, that father, that brother, that sister, that person who's changing the oil, the person who's fixing your brakes, that person that just served you at that restaurant, that person that you just gave money to for your gas, that person that you just gave money to for your shirt, the person that created the shirt. That's a creative. You don't need a camera to be the creative person that you are. You already are creative. Just find it within you and do what you're supposed to do.
Man, that's real. I like that, man, because again, we get stuck in everybody wants the hype of the front man, right?
It sucks.
Until they find out they have no substance and no foundation. And when things hit the fan, they can't live out what they're saying, the hype, you know. And I think I've learned to be in the background for my whole life, really. You know, I remember Pastor Marty was like, hey, yeah, go check out our anniversary video. Jose, you're all in it. I was like, no, I'm not. Yeah, you are. No, I'm not. You made sure I wasn't in that video, you know? And it's like, and there's a reason why. Because even back then, I was like, I want people to give me my credit. Even though I knew my heart and my intentions were right, but there's just that one thing I just always felt left out, right? But I look back at it now, it's like up here in front of all this, there's going to be a lot of accountability. A lot of people, you said, especially those two, you said, and you have to eat that, or double down and be that a-hole and be like, so what? I'm doing me. You let me do me. You know, it's like, yeah, I don't buy that no more, man. And I think being up here has really, you know, I have my issues. We all have our issues. I know her listening right now, Laura, you know, but we're definitely think we're closer. You know, we know where we are with each other. Our relationship's real. You know, she's been on a couple of podcasts and she's talked about me, you know, and she's real with it,
like,
man.
You too much.
You gonna tell me I'm a friend of my friends? You know, it's like, you know, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But back behind the camera, man, you know, it is a safe spot because, you know, we won't be held so accountable, you know, maybe.
But I think you are held very accountable.
Yeah, but again, a lot of people, I think you look at it both factors, man, because behind the scenes will show you your intentions. You know, if you're not up front, man, how are you really? Are you going to live bitter? Are you going to live upset because you're not in front? Until you get in front, you'll never, until you are behind the camera and just be happy with that, then you'll never know how you really truly act when you're up in front, you know? And it's like, I'm not saying being up in front is like the highest peak. Bro, my impact outside of all this, this is a perk.
Yeah.
This does not matter to me.
It's just cool to do.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It is a lot of content. A lot of people love it. But when I'm out and about, dude, and I hear people, it was a while back, man, but we're at Machine Head. And they're like, dude, you're the podcast guy. And I didn't know he was talking. He was like, you. I was like, oh, what's up, man? He's like, babe, look. She's like, oh, yeah, Jose. And it's like, I like that. But the thing is, though, they always say, man, oh, I love your story. You know, I love your wife on the show, too.
Yeah. That's
so it was like,
I love that, bro. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And so it's cool because it is like, you see it working. You see people are like, bro, you're speaking real, man. So, and I think with your show, I love that, man. You definitely have a thing going. I even told you, man, the best thing you ever done was add your wife to that show. You know, and you guys are on that path of real, because you hardly ever hear Ashley speak ever. Even now, she's, you know, I saw her watch it. I was like, dang, girl, look at you. Speak on it.
I love her, man.
Yeah.
She's my rock, bro.
Amen.
She is who I am today.
Amen.
The impact that if I can't impact my family, I can't impact.
Come on, see, that's the truth.
If I can't impact the one I lay with, the one I'm growing, helping learn to grow, then I cannot. Like it ain't.
That's so
bro,
real.
Like stop.
Yep.
Stop. Don't impact the world, bro. Impact your family. When you impact them, they're gonna see the impact you have
because they see it in them.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's where I've learned to be more. I
think she's back to normal.
Practice, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, practice what you preach, but preach what you practice.
Yeah.
And I think that started when we had to be on our own, right?
3-shot girl, Come on.
She don't
We
Get
had
in front of that camera.
We had to be on our own, and then it had to be at home first. You know, how we live together, how we get along, what we pour into each other. And that just progression, definitely. And then once our family is, okay, we're good. We're stronger together.
Yeah.
Then we go out and people are like, wow, you guys are so on
Close.
sync with each other. And you do this and this. And everything we do is together.
Yeah.
And I think it's.
Keeps me in check. Yeah, keeps me in check.
Ashley said this, and I for sure made it real. And she got mad because I didn't give you your credit. But I did give you your credit. But
she's like, what?
She said one day we were having a discussion about everything, right? People just out of nowhere left all my life, right? This was like, what, 5-6 months ago? Like, completely, like, I literally, like, I was left alone. Like, just since we moved, right? And I was just telling her, like, I was just like, just venting to my wife, and I actually had tears running down my eyes. Because I'm a person that I don't like to do life alone. Like, I don't. I hate it with a passion, right? But I've learned to be okay with not being alone. I love it now. Probably love it too much. But she said, I think it was in the car, she said, in order for there to be elevation, there has to be separation. So God has to separate you. And that's not to elevate you to be in front of all the biggest. No. Elevate you spiritually, mentally, physically, in order for then, when you're back around, there's true, okay, this is genuinely him. This is genuinely her. This is genuinely them. That's it.
Well, I think elevating ourselves, man, when I hear that, because, Bible says we got to be set apart, man. Righteous, meaning right standing in him.
Yeah.
And sometimes we think that being in church ministry, because we're back in ministry I'm playing guitar now. Lord Lily's playing guitar now, but I just feel like there has to be more than that, because we were separate from that for a long time and our family elevated, but we had to really elevate in Christ, man, because I can't see myself doing anything else that doesn't bring God glory, man, because anything else, man, it's just me.
Yeah.
And I've learned what me can do to me.
I've restored me way too many times.
And I got tired of that, right? It's like, man, it's the same thing. Why? And again, like you said, this is supposed to be our last words, but we're still, that's one thing I love about what we can do is just talk. It's like, dude, it's you.
Yeah.
It's you. People are so afraid to admit it's them because they lived in this world. This false sense of reality is not, and everything's supposed to look and appeal in a certain way, man. And me, this is it. You get this. This is all you get. I am not hype. I'm still not like that last pastor I left.
Yeah.
I
can't do it.
I can't be like that guy, man. I still feel like he's a clown. And it's just like, I can't live that way. I want to look myself in the mirror. We're good. I do this every time I'm in the shower, out the shower, getting out, walking out, comb my hair, my eyebrows, do my thing. I'm like,
your facial hair?
Yeah, we're good. This is 3 weeks right here, man. This little stubble. But I look at myself every time. I was like, we're good. I'm serious. When I know I can't do that is when I got to fix something.
Now hold up. Yeah, pump the brakes.
I'm good. Yeah. I kid you not. It's fun. No one's ever heard. She doesn't know I do this, but we're good. That's the best feeling ever, man, because I can be honest with myself. I never want to be that person, because I've heard pastors, even recent, man, just saying, no one's worth my salvation. I'm not going to hell for nobody. I forgive. But they say that with a weird intent in their tone. It's like, you're coming off self-righteous, bro. You have the issue. You're just hiding it behind that. And when I mean genuinely nobody's worth my salvation, not even me. So God, teach me to crucify me. That's why the Bible says, man, crucify your flesh, walk in the spirit so you don't fulfill the lust of the flesh.
It's a daily rejection to yourself.
Come on.
And that's true, man. Like I said, man, I fell in love with me again. That's what it is. You can't love nobody else until you love yourself. And that's what I had to do, man. There's some moments where I hate me. moments where I don't, and it's like, all right, let's get to this. Let's get to the root of it. Let's see what's up.
I think when you get down to the root of it, wrong one. You kind of like strip everything away, and then you're just left with you. And then when you're left with you, you feel like there's no hype to it, right? Mm-hmm. So I know there was a time where Jose he wasn't working no more, but he was working at home. It's a different transition because as a stay-at-home mom, I got used to that. I got used to being home. I got used to not talking to anybody, just taking care of the kids. And you're used to not having to worry about anybody. But he is such a social butterfly. He needs to talk to people.
I ain't no dang butterfly. That's a dang.
Man,
you a social dog.
Yeah,
dogs just go to everybody.
I'm a peacock.
He's
a
peacock.
Let me fly.
Well, anyways, he needs that talking with people.
Yeah.
That's how he can get through his day. But when he's not talking to people, I notice like, okay, what's going on? And it's just, that's who he is. And I know that's who you are. There's certain people, but he made his circle smaller. Like some people are just draining. You're just draining the life out of me.
Man.
I seriously can count everybody in my life on these 3 fingers. Like seriously.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And it just, all it does is gives you time to meet new people, you know, and I just wanted to say
we
something.
get stuck in that same routine of like having the need of people or like, because I was like that. And now, man, there's only a few people I can hang out with and actually just want to be around them. I'm not saying no other people are not. It's just I'm not in their lane no more. I don't drink. Yeah. You know, it's like that was my world. You know, that was, you know, it's like I don't do that no more. You know, so it's hard.
And there's conversations that are different. They have the same conversation over and over. It's like, I need a friend who's going to pour into me and just uplift me and just be there. Not someone who's going to suck the life and like be redundant all the time. Same stories, same things. Like,
yeah, it's annoying, dude. We had to kick him to the curb.
So,
it's stressful, bro.
We just got to move on, and it's okay. It's okay going through those emotions. I feel like the place that you're at right now is because I think there's no hype. And you're so used to hype. So now you have to be the person that, without the hype of what you're going through and go through the motion of it. I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think
I'll say this, man. I'm at the biggest church I've ever been a part of. Bro, this church is like, you can get lost big, right? And I've been part of churches that are not as big as this. But it took for me to be a part of one of the biggest churches to become the greatest me. I'm not in front of no camera. I'm not in front of nobody. I don't play drums.
Yeah.
I'm not on stage. I'm none of that. I'm behind the camera. And that's all I'm doing. And I'm okay with that because God gave my dad a pulpit. He gave me a camera. They're both going to touch people. Hype is fake, but you is real. So being you, that's all it is. Too many people, they're chasing a light. I'm just chasing to be the light.
That's real.
I'm just chasing to be that. Bro, I just want to be me, man. It sucks when you got to live in the hype, bro. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of pressure, man. It's unnecessary.
Too much. Yeah. Too much. And then I say this. I wanted to be in big circles because I thought the only way you can impact this in big circles. But the way you really impact is when it's one-on-one. Because then if I impact you in a certain way, you're going to go talk to somebody else. Tell somebody else. Next you know, there's 55 circles, 65 circles that have maybe 4 or 5 people in it. And you add that up. It was off of that one thing that you said. I don't care, bro. I don't need to be in big circles. I don't need one circle. I don't like circles. Because it's the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
Give me something different.
Yep.
That's it.
I think God has set us a new path because I do feel there's certain things that are coming to pass, man. You know, and I do believe you guys are on that verge of stepping in, or you're on that path now. You know,
you're on that path where God can actually start using you now. Because
get you out of the way.
Because you get you out of your way. And then because we were just talking about it the other day, it's like we were always in the background. Yeah. We're always forgotten. We're not like, oh, thank you, Laura and Jose. We're just like, oh, that's Laura and Jose. But God has brought us to the front. And we were talking like, how did we get here? How do we have this? It's like, it's God's favor. That's all it is. Man. It's God's favor. We'll sit in the background until he's ready for us to be like, here we go.
We've been saying that since
You've been getting ready.
Yep.
How the heck did we get here?
Dude, we're flying from Arizona.
Oh, man.
We're driving from San Diego. We're doing the job next week. And we didn't have this 7 months ago, a year ago. We weren't here. We couldn't facilitate a production like this, right? But my heart and my vision now is not from so much to build my business and my clientele. I want to bring God glory in this. So who do I help? I got to help the church out, and then however that God sees fit, that does. And honestly, I'm doing it for God's glory. But the reality is that dude did prophesy and did say verbally, physically, and he was like, you're going to be a multimillionaire because your gifts can help the church. I want that money, because I want to bless others too.
Hey, man, there were some rich people up in the Bible.
Yep.
They got so bad that like the Bible was poor.
Come on. Yep.
Stop making money act like and seem like it's evil. It's the intentions behind the money that's evil. It's not the money. Bro, there was some wealthy. The Bible says that we are going to walk on streets of what? Gold.
Yeah.
Gold is what? Very expensive.
Pearly gates.
So I'm like, no, it's not. It's the heart behind the money, bro. Like,
yep.
I'm going
to get it. We're going to get it.
You know what's funny you saying that is Jose at one point is like, I don't care about the money no more. I don't care. Once he said that he didn't care about the money started coming in. And it's so, I was like, okay. That's what God wanted us to speak to him about. I was like, okay, we're not going to worry about money and we don't worry about money. We're just, it'll come.
It's going to come.
Because I was about chasing the right price, how to price, and I want that money up front. Just seemed like where I was. I mean, you guys knew what we struggled. You guys were there in the beginning with us, right? And so, at least when we were at the apartments over there, man, and I said, screw it. I don't want it no more. Once we moved here, I was like, God, I don't want to worry about that no more. I don't care.
You start killing yourself, man, because you start worrying about that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, we've been the same way. Like, Lord, do you? Because I can't be you.
I'm only going to glorify you.
Yeah, that's it. When they say, how did you get here?
Just gave God. Him.
Jesus.
It's Jesus. And that's so true, man. And I feel like that's a great way to end it. I know you said your last word, but tell somebody again, your last words, your podcast, where they can find you, support you, follow you. Anything you want to say, man, go ahead.
Yeah. Creative Culture Podcast. We're probably, I think there's another one that has it, but usually we're like the first one that pop up because for Creative Culture Podcast, Creative Culture Cast, I believe, on Instagram and TikTok. I don't have anything else. Yeah, man, thank you. This was good. I think this is gonna bring glory not only to God, but it's gonna hopefully let people know that reconciliation is pretty dope.
It's important, man.
Very, you ain't gotta watch over my shoulder no more either. No, I'm just kidding.
I wasn't gonna hurt you. I'm just kidding.
I was just joking.
Well, I just want to tell you guys, man, thank you for your time. I know we're gonna get some lunch right now, a little late lunch, but your boy hungry too, man. But
I know they probably heard it with this mic being so close to us.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, we heard it.
I've been fasting all day. That's why.
Okay, we're gonna get some steaks, but so I tell you, bro, I'm happy. I'm seriously, genuinely happy for you guys. Okay, I mean. You changed my life as much as you think I've impacted yours. I'll just tell you that. Again, there were only certain people I wanted to connect with and start out with. And I remember this quote I said a while back, man. I'm gonna sit at the table of those who I've always started with. Those are the first people I'm always going to sit with first. That's who I started with. And that's why I felt like it was important to call you guys and let you know where I was at. So it's important, people listening and watching, man, make the first phone call. You get you out of the way to know that your intention was to make it right. If they don't make it right, they give you a F off or, we're good, or they just keep rejecting you.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Your job is not to change them. Your job is to take that first step. After you take that first step, you see what God can do. And I think that's what we did here. And I think people listening and watching can hear this whole story, man, and really hear the whole unfiltered truth about it.
Mm-hmm. We still live that unfiltered life no matter what.
Yeah, we are seriously.
Hey, listen, man, I still be.
Let me tell you something, dude. That paper you signed was thrown away and lost a long time ago.
Yeah.
I still don't.
Yeah.
So we can still start a part 2 with us. Ashley's like, nope.
We could collab.
I'm down to collab, man. Dude, and just you got my support, whatever you need. If you got an event, you got something going on, man, I'm down.
Yeah.
We're down to help you out. So, she's back to normal. Brother, where are you?
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, I just want to tell you, I love you guys. Thanks for coming by. Seriously, man. And
I love you too, man.
This podcast is my favorite podcast because it's you.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's letting people know, man. Like this is
time short.
This is real, man. I ain't got time to waste.
Mm-hmm.
We can impact way more people together than we can separately.
Mm-hmm.
And having a grudge.
Yeah, I'm too old for that. I'm too old.
I don't want to have a heart attack because of this, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to live.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be sexy and skinny, hopefully in the future.
Dude, you're still 28.
Just like this, I'm in the beach somewhere.
28.
Nah.
I'm 42, still trying to get into that, man. But that's my point. That's the point. It's like time is short. We're getting older, man. By the time you get into life and it's like you're 100 years old and it's like, I wish I would have made it right. Don't let time go by, man. Anybody watching and listening, don't let time go by. It's not worth it. You take the first step. If it works out, hey, at least you know you took the first step. If it doesn't, hey, at least you knew you took the first step.
Mm-hmm.
And then you move on.
If they don't want to reconcile, you reconcile with yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's the first step. Then if you can look yourself in the mirror and be like, we're good.
We Gucci.
We're good.
Yep.
To yourself. So,
right.
Dude, thanks for jumping on, man. Let's go eat because your boy's hungry. You guys, we just ended season 4. Super excited that I was able to have this podcast. Been teasing it for a bit. Hope you guys gleaned and learned something from this because it's something that I'm learning every day, working, connecting with people, trying to bring out the real reality of what life is and not what social media says it is. Because it's not, because this is real. This relationship's real. This is important. You guys have family members, you have friends, you have people in your life that have burned you or you have burned people. Fix it. Whether they believe you or not, that's not your problem to make them believe, man, but just take the first step and be good with you while you look yourself in the mirror. This is it. That's all I want to say. Laura, what about you? Last word, dude. Come on, white girl.
Just move on. Lily, where's my camera? Okay.
There's your camera.
No, just move on. Time is short. And then you'll feel a lot better too. Mm-hmm. Getting that weight off of you. And that's what holds us back a lot. So just move on. If they don't want to, you're good. Mm-hmm. Just go find more people to love on and enjoy your life. That's what I gotta say.
Cool. Well, you guys go check out our other seasons, all our seasons, our episodes. Man, we've had some great people on. A lot of business owners, a lot of content creators, a lot of people just really changing their world and just really. I hope that you guys find something from this. So go check out our other seasons. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, obviously YouTube, and man, Instagram, TikTok, because Facebook's for old people, and I don't use Facebook.
I don't even know how to use it no more.
Yeah, it's for old people, man. So shout out to you old people being old, because I'll be there one day, but I won't be on Facebook. But I love you guys. I'll let you guys know about season 5. I would say mid to late fall because we're doing another giveaway. I'm not going to say how much, but last year for Christmas, we gave away $1,500. So this year I'm gonna try to one up myself, and I want to hook you guys up. So we are ending season 4. Season 5 will come real soon. But in the meantime, I do a lot more live reactions. You know, kind of just what's going on in live culture, community, and you know, start impacting people that way too. Just doing live reactions, just talking. So I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Go check out other episodes. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.